Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back for another video. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Jigsaw, aka Saw 8, as I would have personally liked it to be called, but hey, that's just me, guys. So, I thought about it. It's been out for like a week, so this review will have spoilers, so if you guys haven't seen it, please turn this video off right now, and then, come back after you've seen it. I'd appreciate that. So I'm just going to dig right in, say the things I liked about it, things I didn't like, and I'll start off with the basic plot. So, there is a game being played, obviously, and simultaneously there's a new character we're introduced to called Logan Nelson, and he is a forensic pathologist along with his assistant named Eleanor. And one thing, this film, there are very not so subtle hints that she could very well be the next Jigsaw, the apprentice that's been basically causing all this, a copycat or whatever. So, yeah, they really want you to believe that she's the next Jigsaw throughout the entirety of this film. So, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, there's a game being played, and there's a twist I kind of appreciated just for the fact that it gave Tobin Bell much more to do in this film. So basically, the game's being played, contestants are getting killed off one by one, and it's down to the final two. They're in a room together, locked up. It's very reminiscent of the original with Dr. Gordon and Adam in a weird way. And then Jigsaw walks in. He unrobes. He takes off the hood or whatever, and surprise, surprise, it's John Kramer. So I'm sitting there like, wait, what the fuck? This guy's been dead for the past four movies. Like, what's going on here? And therein lies the twist of the film. So you find out basically the events you've been watching the entire movie is actually 10 years prior to present day, which sounds kind of weird, but it's basically half prequel and half, the present day. So, yeah, I appreciated that just for the fact that Tobin Bell had way more to do in in this film than, the previous, like, four movies. I mean, Saw the final chapter where he basically was like a glorified cameo. So I definitely appreciated that. And they tried to set up new character arcs with because I think Tobin Bell is like the only cast member from all the previous films that comes back there. So there's no that kind of turned me off to this film, to be honest. There's no even references, like there's no references to Dr. Gordon, to like what happened to Dr. Gordon, what happened to Detective Hoffman, there's no mention of Amanda or even any references to like the numerous, law enforcement officers that tried to take Jigsaw down throughout the years. So there was none of that in this film, which kind of, I get it. It was like, it's a sequel slash soft reboot of the franchise. They're trying to do their own thing, but at the same time, I think you should respect the past and, acknowledge it. So yeah, that was one of my many dislikes. And I just thought the new characters were very bland. I just don't see an entire span of new films coming out of these characters. Like I don't see it. And one thing, there was so many plot holes because first of all, there's the whole it's a prequel twist, but the very last twist at the very end is you find out. So this Logan guy, the guy who's the forensic pathologist, he ends up being the new apprentice, Jigsaw's newest apprentice, and it just was off to me. It felt very kind of like, when they just make sequels just to make sequels, and you can tell there's no more story there. They just let's just make up bullshit as we go along. It felt very just unimaginative to me. It felt very just added on, like, oh, all of a sudden in part 9, Jason Voorhees did have a sister after all. Like, he's not an only child, even though Mrs. Voorhees said he was in the original. We're just going to retcon that, So basically what it is this Logan guy, the forensic, he turns out he was Jigsaw's apprentice. He was John Kramer's apprentice from the very beginning. He was in Jigsaw's original trap, and I didn't really buy it, to be honest. And then it turns out, they kind of tried to tie it into the original film, saying that he helped John Kramer create the whole, reverse bear trap that was on Amanda in the original film. And yeah, I don't know if I buy that, because I get it, they're trying to make up more story, but it's just, there's so many plot holes it creates too. It's where's Dr. Gordon? Where's Detective Hoffman? Like, honestly, that's the Saw 8 that I was hoping for. That's the Saw 8 that I wanted to see. Did Detective Hoffman, because Hoffman was my favorite fucking character in the entire series. Like, more so than John Kramer himself. I just thought Detective Hoffman's, the evolution of his character arc throughout the films was much more satisfying to me, personally. So, yeah, like, I wanted to see, I think Hoffman could have very friggin' well escaped from the room, and, like, saw the final chapter at the very end. And, yeah, like I said, what happened to Dr. Gordon? Who knows? They're not even mentioned in this film. They're not referenced. They're not name dropped. Nothing. Like, literally none. As far as I know, none of the films even, like, exist. The previous films. That's how out of place this film was. And one thing I had one of the main things I had a problem with it was the traps. The traps were not intricate enough as the original films were. They were just kind of lazy to me, to be honest, the traps in this film. And some of them felt like a rehash of Saw traps that were already in previous Saw movies. So that was definitely, it's like, come on, guys, you can't think of something new, And there was not enough, one of the main things as well, there was not enough gore for my taste, like, not enough blood. Don't get me wrong, there is blood in the film, but it comes off more, since you're dealing with these, like, forensic, pathologist characters, it comes off more like an episode of, like, a special Halloween edition of, like, CSI or something featuring Jigsaw, It just came off to me that way. It didn't genuinely feel like a Saw movie, if that makes any sense to you guys. Yeah, it just, I don't know. It, like, the Saw, the theme music was there, the traps were there. Tobin Bell came back, obviously, but it just didn't have the same flavor as, the previous installments. So, yeah, like I said, it was just very, very off to me, in a way. And it's essentially, I think, personally, it suffers from Star Wars The Force Awakens syndrome, in the sense that it is, as much as I love The Force Awakens, it is basically Star Wars A New Hope done again with different characters. And this one, in the same way, this film is basically Saw 4, redone with this new character, Logan, which turns out to be the new apprentice. He's basically taking Detective Hoffman's role in Saw 4. So that's basically all it was. That's all I could think of watching this film. And it was I just thought his character was very bland in general, especially to be, it's so weird. It turns out the prequel, he turned out to be one of the contestants in, Jigsaw's original trap. And in this film, he recreates those exact, he recreates Jigsaw's original game to see if he's a worthy successor to John Kramer for the Jigsaw mantle, which I thought was interesting, but it just wasn't executed properly, in my opinion. And yeah, as far as Saw 9 or any future Saw movies right now, I can't really tell. I don't even know how it's doing at the in the box office, but yeah, my opinion, they should have probably just stopped at the final chapter, left it as the final chapter, let it live up to its name, so to speak. So yeah, for the future of the franchise, I'm not sure, guys, but that's my review for Jigsaw. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll definitely be back for more reviews. I don't know what my next event's going to be right now, but yeah, you guys will find out soon enough. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys for the next video.